Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Eye on Icon. The show has been away for a little while and we're finally back. Digital Dave, how you feeling, man?
Hello, I'm feeling great. Today's the best day of the week because we're back. And
Yes.
I'm happy that we can get into the news. There's a lot of news, like we've aggregated just the big ones over the past 2 weeks, is it?
Yeah, and I can't believe how much news has got in the chop. We've never had to wave the chop, like, cut. No, it's not making it. My God, there's just that much.
It's editorial,
That's
editorial decisions.
Yes, very true. Look, it's good to be back. Have been missing out on doing the show, chatting to you, David, and also I've been out of the loop. I don't know what's been going on lately. I've been seeing stuff. I'm not sure what it means. I heard it's Mirai Month. I don't even know what that means, but I know there's stuff happening, and I want to get educated. So, David, this time you're gonna be revealing all the facts.
Oh yes, I've been paying attention because you were gone. Obviously, this is why we had a break for 2-3 weeks. You
Yes.
were off. You had the Wanderlust, and you were off to India. And what I'm gathering from this is that you had no internet connection either for 2.5 weeks. Is that how it went down?
Oh no, I had. But well, most of the time I was in a hotel and was moving around. Well, I should say slept in a hotel, and then the other half was in some kind of transportation, stuck in traffic. So, yeah, there was no way I
Yeah,
could.
yeah. But you had connection, but you were just hooked on Indian Netflix,
That's
which is
right.
a
That's
completely
right.
different offering, I reckon.
There was. In fact, you know what? In India, the Netflix has all the anime. Like in Australia,
Yeah.
Netflix has its own originals because anime is done by Crunchyroll and stuff, right? They own all the rights. In India, Netflix owns all the rights for all the anime. So it was kind of like anime heaven over there.
Did you go outside?
Oh no, I'm pretty sure it was night all night. No, I went. There was quite a lot of experiences. Yes, lots of unique
This is
fun.
this is where we should plug in a VPN sponsor because they always tell you how you can use a VPN to watch Netflix offerings in different countries.
That's right.
But VPN sponsors useless. You know what a good sponsor is,
What?
Fez?
What?
Om Monks. Have you ever heard of them?
No, no, I didn't see this coming. Tell me more.
The Om Monks. The Om Monks belong to the Ohm Finance platform. They're this group of highly intelligent, trained, skilled DeFi martial artists, and they keep busy with, creating amazing community events, raffles, types of engagements, giving away all these like NFTs and other incentives for users to just play around with the Ohm platform and interact with the Ohm monks in Discord. And last but not least, they sponsor this show. Did you know that?
I do. That is one thing I do know. I went on leave, but I remembered that.
I
Look,
just wanted to say, like, come on, check it out. Find them on Twitter. Find them in our description. So if you ever hear about sponsors or sponsorship, tell them about the Ohm monks.
you know what I love about them? They were just community members working really hard and now are doing Kick This Off together and building something off it. How awesome is that? Love it.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Well, on that bombshell, let's hop into the news. I see you've got Icon loaded up. Tell me about that.
Well, this is just a website. I thought, why not have something nice to look at while we caught up. Did you know 57 projects have been funded? Over $1 million has been given out via CPS.
That number just keeps on growing.
That does. Oh, this creates rage and love in my heart. Two emotions pounding away. Anyway, let's jump into the news. First up, Snow airdrop. Ooh, we have an airdrop date, do we, David?
We finally do for Snow on this Kusama parachain. It has been onboarded. So obviously there was the successful Snow crowd loan. They've been onboarded, but it's not opened up yet. And now they've given us dates. They've said on the 10th of October, you're going to be able to view your contribution rewards that you're getting from the crowd loan. So if you remember, you and I and a lot of other people contributed KSM to the crowd loan.
Yes.
But there's also a lot of people, including myself, that were kind of throwing about friend referral links for additional 5% and whatnot. On the 10th of October, you can actually go in and see your projected amount that you're going to get. And then a week later, on the 17th, that's when the contribution rewards will be sent out. And that's also when finally the airdrop that everyone's been asking about for the past year or so will happen. 17th of October. Snow tokens for the Snow Parachain. So that's this announcement. And keep that in mind. Another 4 days before we get insights into crowd loan rewards. And then it's 11 days before the airdrop happens.
Yeah. Well, look, let's be honest here, David. Tutorial's already been recorded. I got given a staging website to claim the tokens. Not that I have access to the tokens, or even if I did, David, where can I take the tokens? I have them, but I don't.
There's no utility.
No. Just for the record, I don't. But yeah, we just wanted to clarify that. So already recorded how you can claim it, and really excited for that to drop when the airdrop is available, or a couple of days before.
What do you mean?
The tutorial.
Oh yeah. When will it drop? I'd say on the same day.
Same day.
17th, right? What's the point in dropping a tutorial sooner? Would they do that?
No, you're right. It'll just raise a lot of questions. How did Fez get his stash? 300 tokens. Good times.
We laugh about there being no token utility, but the team recognizes this. Of course, there's projects that it's an EVM compatible chain. Ethereum projects will be able to launch on Snow, and this will happen. The Stakey team who run the Craft network have already announced that they aim to fork Uniswap, name it Everest Swap, and launch it on Snow. So these projects and dApps will come, but upon launch day, you will be able to claim your tokens and you will receive your tokens, but all these dApps and whatever, they won't be there like within the snip of a finger. And the team recognizes this, and that's why they announced the Snow staking vault as well. As you can see, like in that big tokenomics pie chart, there is 20% of Snow token allocation allocated to retention rewards, meaning that users will be incentivized to not get rid of their token, dump them, but actually stake them in the Snow staking vault and receive rewards for that. So that's baked into the tokenomics, which I think is an interesting aspect. And I, for one, will get my rewards, and I will probably immediately stake them because, I believe in the project. I want to see it be successful. So might as well stake those tokens. And that's an interesting slice of the tokenomics chart. And another interesting part is the fact that there is no team allocation in this pie chart, right? So there is no 20% that goes to the team. You can see it this way. Instead, it goes to the users who stick around. So that's Snow token utility probably in the first couple of weeks of the after the airdrop is my expectation.
Yeah, look, you know what? I speak from personal experience. Riches are built in a bear market, and then profits are lost in the bull. Thank you, Terra. Anyway, this is, this is great. I really love it. Like the staking, lockup. I know people are going to run. The joke I made earlier, and we say no utility, I just mean till the chain actually launches and in the first few days. But the second the chain launches and you have it, you can then move it. You could, if there's a listing somewhere, you could try and sell it, but many people may try to take profits. Bear market, I don't know. It could keep going down if you sell. These things, I don't give too much thought. In a bear market, I've just stopped selling. It's like, well, I might as well start hoarding again and prepare for the next market.
That's it.
Okay, enough. Those are personal views, not financial advice. Remember that. We're just two guys who know nothing. Let's move on. Next up. What's
Icon onboards FAO to perform the Icon Bridge security audit. Now, we all know Icon's flagship product is BTP. Before BTP launches, Icon has launched Icon Bridge, which is essentially like it has the fundamentals of BTP, but it's not the whole package yet. And that Icon Bridge is getting audited now by FAO. I believe the work here gets carried over onto BTP once that arrives, right? So now they're auditing all these like key elements of Icon Bridge, and those same elements will transport into BTP and remain audited like that. So it's a valuable move, and FAO is a well-recognized auditing company. And yeah, they're partnering up on this, and it's already ongoing. As you can see, they're code reviewing in several different languages that are involved here. I see Solidity, Go, and what is it? Java.
Yep.
And it's gonna take another, 2 weeks?
Yeah. So from my understanding, why did it say 2 weeks? That should be on a particular aspect, and then some of the contracts and things like that. Because this is Java and Solidity, but say when Near would be Rust, so potentially. Every time a new language comes on board, I anticipate they'll get reviewed to make sure it's fine. But if in the case of like Binance Smart Chain exists, and if say Ethereum or Polygon or one of these chains were on the horizon, again, not that I know that they are, but if they were, essentially the Solidity contracts would get used, and in those circumstances they don't get audited again because it's literally a fork of the contract and recreated.
Yeah. And then, it does say the initial code is expected to conclude at the end of October 2022, but that's the initial review. Yeah. And I believe auditors work in such a way that you get an initial review, and then you get time to basically look at the results and change your code for the better, and patch security threats, whatever they might find. So that's an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
And I know that this team, right? They consist of these cybersecurity experts, and they know a lot about hacking and the way cybersecurity works and doesn't work. And I've actually seen like very interesting talks of team members of them at conferences. You can find them if you look for them. Where they just talk about these different use cases and where there's vulnerabilities, and I've seen these by other companies as well in the past, like just these talks about how vulnerable we all are actually with software. And I'm not just talking blockchain here, I'm just taking a step, and I'm also talking like your mobile phone and everything we own that is electronic and connected to the internet. After you see those videos, you get like scared and you think like, oh my goodness, forget two-factor authentication, I need 5-factor authentication. Like I need someone to come to my door and verify that it's me, because there's so much ways to bypass all that stuff, and us common folk, we think we're safe, but it's hard sometimes. I'm happy that this company is partnering with Icon and auditing Icon Bridge.
Well, I don't know if I want to watch their videos anymore. If it's just shaking you to your core, where you don't know if you are you, I'm worried. But overall, yes, awesome partnership. Do you know something, David? What happened today?
Tell me.
So every day, Iron Icon gains new followers on Twitter, one at a time. I click on them, and it's obviously some kind of bot or some kind of pump and dump group that starts following. Same with Crypto Setups profile. But today, some guy followed Michael, I can't remember. I'm terrible with names, as you know. Like I clicked on him. CEO of the firm. It's following Iron
This
Icon.
firm?
Yes. We did it.
He's listening right now, probably. Hey, Michael.
He's probably hacked this pre-recorded show. Damn, he's good. Okay.
Wow. Big names in the following. I think that says a lot. I think that says a lot about the quality and content of this show, and I believe many will follow.
Yep, I agree. A bit of a self high five, David. Well done.
Thank you.
Cool. Okay, moving on. Okay, so next up, we saw the Foundation drop this how to report a GitHub issue. I like the article. In general, you've probably noticed the open sourcing of everything, including the Icon Bridge project. And the next step of that is kind of getting the community involved, or people who have that skill set, to actively go in there, see what work is available, as in to do. Can they chip in if they're finding issues, how they can report it, simply get in. And so this article dropped with step-by-step instructions. Thought it was quite cool.
Are you on GitHub?
I am.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I wasn't always, but in this world of open source development, it's like a staple website that you kind of have to get to know, I feel. And it's how a lot of these projects measure like development activity and whatnot. And I think Icon is getting their act together on GitHub and essentially structuring all the dev activity so that at one point we can actually start measuring that, and our name will pop up in these lists that you see floating around.
Yes, there was one by that. What's that mob called? Masari. They dropped active GitHub repos, and obviously Ethereum followed by Polkadot, and then it kept going. And I was actually looking for Icon on the list because I know we've been doing a lot, and there have been it was measured by commits, and yeah, I speak the lingo, David. It was measured by commits, and but Icon wasn't on the list, and but these are the steps we're taking. I know soon there'll be some updates, further transparency in terms of Icon as a project itself. So exciting times. If you haven't, and you know what, honestly, like I had to take the plunge recently, and I spent a bit of time, and GitHub's pretty cool. Like once you get it, it's pretty cool. You can do a lot with it. It's it's amazing.
I feel like it's not going anywhere either.
No,
no. Everyone uses this, so it's like you learn a valuable language or a valuable platform, like
skill for program. It's like yeah.
But I must say, it's also a lot of information gets captured, and it's hard, it's a lot when you're just looking at it. There's so much little pieces of interlinked information, and the way that websites or projects are built up. If you're not a developer, you see that and you don't recognize immediately what other people might recognize when they see it. So I wouldn't blame anyone for having a bit of a question mark, dangling above their head when visiting GitHub or even looking at these screenshots. But then again, the time is now. So read this article, have a look, kind of maybe open up a GitHub account and see what you can learn. Can always be valuable moving forward. And if you're listening to this podcast, you're interested in crypto and tech development. So yeah, that's your call to action.
Totally. Okay, we'll move on then. The Icon technical community update. Very different to the dev update. Yeah. So this comes out quarterly, and what is it, David?
It is. It's an update for the technical community, and this is exactly what we were just talking about. These are developers, but also people who like to stay up to date with what's happening with the developers. Like, you don't have to build something yourself to have a GitHub account and stay up to date, or whatever. But this update kind of tells us how the whole open source Icon backend reshapement is going down. So we can see these milestones now.
What is the Icon Builder program? What is it?
The Icon Builder program is call it a program. It's a website that kind of explains what the Icon ecosystem looks like, what types of community members float around in it, whether you're a user on one side, a content creator, or a developer. As you can see on screen now, you could be an ambassador. And then it kind of explains the grants that are also floating around in the Icon ecosystem. See, we have 4 grant programs that people, whether you're a user, a content creator, an ambassador, you can apply to these, and they're on screen now. There's the CPS that we all know and love and sometimes hate. There's Iced Developer Grants, which is the Snow and Ice grant program. There's the Massive Interoperability Incentive Program, and then there's your Icon Foundation grants. And these 4 grant systems, they haven't actually been lined up anywhere before.
There's meant to be a audit fund as well that everyone's forgotten about.
True. There's a fund for audits. The Icon Builder program is a program. I think it aims to connect community members to the right resources for them to build. So I liked where it says community, and you have all these different roles in a community. This is something that I posted on our Ion Icon account as well. If you're a user, you might think that you're useless, but you're not. If you're simply a user, you're in this unique position where you can give feedback, whether it's positive or negative. And that's like one of the most valuable things in development is user feedback, because it's actual users who are telling you what they like and what they don't like. And, stuff might look good on paper and it might work out in your head. But as soon as you give it to the public, they might all, stumble over the same issues that you never thought would be an issue. And then you fix it, and then your product gets so much better. So even as you being a user, you can be so valuable in the community. I don't think people realize that at all times. They think, oh, I'm not a dev, I can't do anything for Icon. That is not true. You can. So I urge everyone to visit the website, build.icon.foundation, and have a look around.
Yep. No, it's good. It's good. These are things we have wanted to happen. They're happening in the background. I guess people aren't bear market. People aren't as excited, but it's happening. Then some of the future goals, we can see that they're going to create technical tutorials. I think this is something we've seen Rhizome apply for a grant around, if I'm correct, on CPS. So some of that,
right,
and that's looking like it's going to pass. So again, quality content is something we definitely need. It's something that the devs, everyone's been screaming for. So great to see. Reorganize BTP specifications. Interesting. What does it mean? We'll find out when there's release.
It's reorganized. Yeah, maybe dive in their GitHub. Yeah. Well, yeah. Fez is going to dive into the GitHub and report back next week.
That's right, guys. I am going to get into those repos and you name it.
Yeah, you're going to do some refactoring, committing, and
merging.
And merging, yeah.
Totally,
cool.
Totally. Then what else? Okay, no, I think that's good. It's a solid update. Things are going in the right direction. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, next up, Gangster Bet. Okay, now catch me up, David. I've been seeing tweets drop, jobs going, you name it. Tell me.
Gangster Bet is every week inching closer towards their gangster-verse, aren't they? We've had NFT sales, land minting passes sales, and everything, and now they've launched or announced an exciting event. The 10th of October, they're going to open up their, I'm going to call it a metaverse city. They're going to open it up for 24 hours.
Oh, so as in for people to use? I read this as just to see, like they'll preview it.
The first sentence or second sentence, it's going to be a 24-hour only event where the full map of the Emerald City will be live and interactable via a web browser on a laptop or PC. So from that interactable, I got that you're able to do stuff in it, as opposed to just seeing it. But then again, if it's not interactable, they wouldn't write that. No, I think we get to go in, Fez.
I think so. I'll better level up my gangster bets. I'm coming for you, David.
Don't. I've got the lady, right? And she's the base level still. I haven't
Don't worry, all of mine are the base level as well, so I'm pretty sure it'll be an even Steven fight. But
I bet we get allocated to the slums as well. Did you buy any land?
I actually did get some land, and I don't know.
Oh,
did you?
Not on my Gangster Bet account, so to speak. So I've got my my lady floating around.
Okay.
And then I didn't mint any land for her.
No. She can. Yeah. Oh, don't worry. I've got some residence that I'll loan you for high fee.
Yeah. I'm gonna come over and live then, like on your curbside or whatever, because I'm not sure how this is gonna go down.
Well, we'll know for sure once we interact within the 24-hour time frame. This is kind of big. So the 10th of October, people, that's EST for 24 hours. If you're going on leave, cancel it. You need to be near the internet, okay? Like, forget about it. There's no point. You can go on leave in the metaverse. Like, why bother going in real life? This is it. I'm actually excited. I'm taking the piss a little bit, but in a very genuinely excited way. This is cool. Finally.
It is, and yeah, see what it's like. Like they've been, remember that one tease where they said, "We've shown our land to builders within the metaverse ecosystems," and they were all super impressed. And I read that at the time, and I thought, "Oh my god! Like, have they shown it to?" I don't know. Have they shown it to Rockstar Games or EA Sports? And they're all super impressed. I don't know. But they've been teasing it a bit and saying that it's exceeding expectations. So now for them to open it up and let us all in, it's going to be the moment of truth. Keep your eye on that Crown token. Keep your eye on that GBET token, because if people are not impressed, the token will dump, and if people are super impressed, the token will moon Fez.
Oh, not financial advice.
Yeah, not at all.
Not at all. So, David, did we cover the land sale?
Yeah,
we did. Okay, because I really, GangsterBet with the Crown token employed, they utilized their node to secure votes, but obviously distribute a token for the voters.
Yes, the Crown token.
Exactly. Now, over time, more variations of this model came out, which was great to see. What I liked, what they did was then created this bank where you can then lock up, because obviously when finally you were able to collect your token, it was like, well, people are going to create a liquidity pool and dump it, or the team's created. But they created a utility with this bank where you stake it, and it gives you, like your ICX style, and whatever transactions happen and stuff gets paid to the bank at a certain percentage, etc., etc. And then the land sale happened.
Right.
And there was a few glitches, but I thought this was cool because it didn't need ICX or anything. The land could only be bought with this token. So all these people who'd been voting for a very long time were actually rewarded, because land is a huge feature in the metaverse. So we're led to believe, because it is. And yeah, I thought it was really good. And finally, the bank that split, because obviously with these like SICX and stuff, the longer this token exists, the more valuable it gets when you redeem it to ICX. So, for example, at the start, one ICX netted you one SICX, but after 2 years, after 3 years, based on that interest, when you convert the SICX back, you're going to get more. But if you convert ICX to SICX, it's going to cost you more ICX, right? The same logic is with the token. Remind me again, what's the token? Crown.
It's the Crown token. And indeed, so you might put in 1,000 Crown token into the bank. What happens next is the land sale happened, and a certain percentage of all the sales flows into the bank. So I put in 1,000 Crown, but after the land sale happened, the amount of tokens in the bank had grown, and I still get my share. Yep. So my 1,000 Crown, if I would now withdraw that, I get like 1,300, 1,400, because there's, so based on sales that happen in the Gangsterverse, that bank is just going to grow, and at any time you can deposit, and then as it grows, the amount that you can withdraw grows. So the sooner you deposit, essentially, the better. The amount grows. Yeah, that's really it.
So look, and you know what, David? I did deposit, but transaction must have failed. So I had nothing in the bank. Then I saw it later. I was so peeved. Every time, like even when I voted for GangsterBet, I realized I hadn't done one step, and all those months I wasn't getting anything. It's like, oh, come on. I'm meant to be the guy who kind of knows what's going on and how to do these things. How's it screwing up? Anyway.
How are you lecturing? How are you lecturing other people on how to do things? And your setup is completely wonky.
Oh, God. Anyway.
It's cool. Okay. Like you can earn it back.
Yeah, that's right. There's plenty of time. Next up, so I saw this. This is pretty cool. So call for positions, community managers and advisors. Have you applied, David?
I have not applied, but they're obviously growing. And with growth, you need more people. They've got space and room for it. So if you're listening to this and you've been maybe thinking about doing something in crypto or in blockchain, this is a gateway drug, applying for a position as like a community manager or advisor. It's a gateway drug because you start doing it, you see if you like it, if it's enjoyable, and there's reward, and you might grow in that role. You might take all the experience and move on to a next role. But this is basically, open applications. So there's a form that you can click. You can put in your details, I reckon, and go for it. I'd say go for it.
Don't tell anyone, David. I've applied.
I know you've applied. I knew it the second I saw your face, and I knew it the second I saw that they were calling for positions because of your previous clean track record with GangsterBet interactions and missing out on all the crown tokens, not depositing into the bank. I only figure that you would apply for a position to actually figure out how it works.
When you summarize it like that, I understand why I got an instant rejection. Oh, God. Yeah. I shouldn't project these onto the podcast. No, I have not applied, but this was fantastic. Again, it goes in line with we're seeing opportunity. Well, if anyone remembered, I always used to harp on, we need to build, we need things to launch, we need projects that will create communities. That's happening. They're getting bigger. The communities, each of them, like Karma Finance, I could Ohm with the monks, Balance with just some do-gooders, and you name it. Many protocols have picked up community members and they've taken roles within these projects as community managers. In fact, just working with these projects themselves closely, like Hyperconnected, for example, a great success story from him, how he got involved with the Karma Finance project. So, and there's each of these have a story like that. So this could be your story with GangsterBet. So get in there, man. GangsterBet should be happy. Look at the pitch we're giving them. Great.
They should sponsor us.
They should. They did. They did.
Yeah,
for a long time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They should sponsor us again. Thank you, GangsterBet. Let's move.
But sponsor us again. Okay. Next up, Craft 2.0. David. The time has come.
Yes,
no, David. It's
Craft.
sad. This is a joyous moment, but it's also sad because, those backyards, they're not going to be around anymore.
Yeah, but let's provide some context here.
Okay.
Craft, by the Stakey team and Lydia Labs, has announced Craft 2.0, or actually their Craft token 2.0. So first, what's happening right now? The Craft token is a platform token that they distribute to users on the platform. So whether you're a creator who has an NFT collection or you're a collector who is trading, you get rewarded Craft tokens for your activity. Now, one of the biggest flaws of that mechanism is that I could set up 2 wallets and start trading a GangsterBet NFT, for example. I could trade it up and down and up and down and up and down. And every time I sell it to myself, I would get the Craft token distribution as well, which I would then go onto Balanced and I would sell it. So I could make a profit by doing fake trades all day. I could go one step further, build a couple of bots, which I can't, but technically I could, and do this times 10 or times 20, right? So it paid literally to be a malicious actor and to kind of cheat the system. And Craft had staff on board who did nothing other than look at transactions and flag, suspicious ones and weed out all these wash traders. But it's hard and it's labor intensive and it's not really scalable. So they're going to change it up. And I'm not going to dive into the nitty gritty of it, but the distribution, it's getting fixed. So this issue is getting fixed. Creators who were earning Craft, are earning Craft, are being asked to kind of put up a bond in a way in Craft tokens. So the real creators will do this. The fake accounts won't have the bond, or they won't put it up in fear of maybe, I don't know if they slash it or not, but look, there's ramifications if you cheat, and if you have to put up a bond, then you have more skin in the game. So with Craft 2.0, with this big upgrade, that's one of the changes. So as Fez was alluding to, it's the end of $100 pictures of backyards being sold on Craft up and down.
Just wasn't
Because
enough
we
time
won't
to
see that.
acquire them.
Yeah, I've got a healthy stash that I can only assume will appreciate over time. But go
Lucky.
to the Craft Twitter account or straight to their Medium, and there's a big article on how this is going to help. And I've only touched off at the top now, so there's more things coming through. Like they allude to the V curve model, they allude to the a bribe system like Convexus is going to be implementing, where you can use your craft. It gives you voting power, and you can vote for another distribution mechanism. There's a lot going on, and I'm not going to cover all of it now. But Craft 2.0 is on its way, and it's going to fix for wash trading and the current flaws of craft distribution. This, might I say, is one of the reasons why I wasn't too interested in accumulating any craft token, not financial advice. But, I saw this flaw and I thought, well, if there's people building bots, farming the craft and selling it, why would I, start buying it and paying money for it if they're getting it for free? So the fact that they're fixing this makes it more interesting for other users to go like, hey, now, that leak is being plugged.
Yeah, agree.
And it's not financial advice. But if it was, then, it's better now than it was before.
Yeah. And look, this is part of the, my if I have a criticism, it is what took them so long. Okay? That's just it. So all these changes are great. The fact that the collections, creating demand from the creators who want to put out their collections and things is genius in my eyes. Like, because then like that itself is having a positive flow on the token. And then if they're going to implement some VE curve kind of tokenomics so that the stakers and stuff incentivized to keep staking to increase percentages and things like that, even better. So yeah, it had gone on for too long. It's a similar criticism I had for Ohm. It was annoying me that inflation of Ohm was so ridiculously high, and we were all trying to fix it. There was people doing a lot, but no one was actually having the conversation. Let's put a vote to change a distribution. But enough of that. So this was definitely something I saw just before I took some time off, and I went, awesome work. This is great to see. So, yeah, if you haven't read the announcement, definitely get across it. I wonder, it's saying proposed changes. So they said they still have a bit of research to do. So I hope it doesn't take much longer because, the quicker we patch these things, the less tokens are just getting bled out.
Yeah, I can add to that. So the craft token, it's not just a reward, it's also the governance token of the craft marketplace. So if they want to put through these kind of changes, you need to go through on-chain governance. So you must ask your holders of the craft token to vote for these changes. Now, all the wash traders, they don't own any craft token because they keep selling them off. So it's only going to be the people who have an interest in holding who are going to be voting. So I'm assuming it's going to be like a 99% yes vote.
David, I read this announcement and bought some craft.
Yeah, I can imagine. Because I did the same.
Okay, good.
That's why I can imagine, because I literally did the same.
Yeah.
But that wasn't financial advice.
Yes.
But I read this, and you know what? I actually thought that this was already being done.
Yeah.
But now that you mentioned about the voting and the speed of things, and if you scroll all the way down in the article, it does say we are still validating some of the models.
Yeah.
I just saw that. So data simulations. So it's not there yet. So we may have bought too early.
That's okay. I've bought and just holding. It's all good.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's craft. Let's
move on.
Let's move on.
So the first round of Ohm bonds have been completed through Karma DAO Finance. You know what? In all my internet connection in the last 3 weeks, I was trying to find time to sell some bonds. And I did it twice.
To sell or buy?
Buy, sorry. As in sell some Ohm, give up the Ohm, get a...
Because that's probably where it went wrong then.
Yes. I was doing it wrong again. Look... But you know what I loved? We've talked about Karma Finance. So these bonds, they have limited. You can see that they have a limited amount of bonds they sell per day. They implemented some features there. So if you caught the reset, you'd always get the best kind of discount. If then there was a lot of demand or it sold out, the discount skewered. But you can see from this initial run, the protocol Ohm now owns $25,000 of Ohm liquidity. Now, remember, most of the Ohm's liquidity is coming from users like me and David who panic and sell at the top, sell at the bottom and buy at the top. And this has a terrible impact for the actual token's price in these AMMs. So the fact that the protocol owns it means they will not touch this liquidity. So whether it goes up or whether it goes down, there'll always be a set amount of money in those LP pools. And we all know when there's a lot of money in the LP pools, it is more likely to fluctuate less in market, turbulent market conditions, because liquidity is king.
Yeah, and Karma Finance is a platform that helps other protocols achieve their own liquidity, and they launched recently with the Ohm use case as their first one. Yep. So they sold out, which is amazing. It means not only does it work, but there's demand for it, and it's great for all parties involved, even the users. So I'm curious to see what's the next platform that's going to launch with Karma. What's the next project that's going to aim to hold their own liquidity. And I didn't.
Invictus, did you not see the announcement? They're going to go down the bonds route. Right. Integrating their node model via the Karma Finance bonds as well, which I'm interested to see how it looks.
I've got another piece of news here. I got this from the Discord channel of Convexus. So Convexus is the AMM. Say something like Balanced, we know. Convexus is going to provide AMM functionality and concentrated liquidity. So you can provide liquidity within a certain price range. Yeah. And when the token trades within that certain price range, you're going to get more of those trading fees. But when it trades outside that price range, you get no trading fees. No. So you kind of make decisions there. That's been announced. That was announced before Karma, actually, I believe. But it's the same teams working on these. And now that Karma has actually launched successfully, the proof of concept is there. They will now move on to finalize Convexus, is what I think I read. So we can expect that DeFi product to become more vocal in the ecosystem as well now, because Karma, as we can see, has launched, is operational, it works. So yeah, round of applause for them, and hopefully we get Convexus showing up soon as well.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, they went for CPS funding around the same time. So, but it only makes sense, and if there is going to be a token, they would utilize the Karma Finance system. Remember that the protocol this is based on, Convex, is huge on Ethereum. Okay, so right. It is one of the DeFi 2.0. You can say a lot of DeFi 2.0 went bust, but actually OHM and Convex, some of these protocols are still alive and well, and Convex specialized in this protocol-owned liquidity component and offered this service to a ton of protocols across Ethereum. So
I see, but Fez, this is confusing because you say, so Karma Finance is similar to Ohm and Convex on Ethereum?
Not Ohm.
Because Convexus, which is going to launch on Icon, that is similar to Uniswap V3.
That's right, yes. Convex is protocol-owned liquidity. And yes, the one they're going to launch is an AMM, Uniswap 3, basically.
Uniswap 3. So Uniswap is the biggest decentralized exchange on Ethereum, which is the biggest smart contract blockchain out there. And Uniswap used to have regular AMM functionalities with liquidity pools. And then sometime last year, maybe a bit prior, they launched their V3 version where you could allocate, you could concentrate your liquidity, which was a great update because it makes capital more efficient and everyone loves it. But I do think a lot of the Uniswap forks, so this is when developers basically copy Uniswap and launch it on a different EVM chain. This could be Snow, for example. This is what Everest Swap will be. A lot of these forks, I think, are Uniswap v2.
Yes.
So they're copying the Uniswap that doesn't have the concentrated liquidity functionality. Maybe it's too hard for people to grasp. Maybe it's too hard to fork for the developers. I don't know. But it seems like Uniswap v2 is like a legacy version that everyone is still using throughout.
Yeah, I think v3 became a bit complicated. But you're right, it is all V2 people fork, so this should be good. Good for the Icon ecosystem. All we need is more dApps. Like, ultimately, like, it comes down to you can have AMMs, all these AMMs, but they're not going to have liquidity if they're all split up. And the only way you can have variation and many of these AMMs to continue to thrive is if there are more dApps being built that have token utility, and not just shooting out a token for the hell of it, actual utility that makes a token valuable. But enough of that. Anything else, David, in the news front?
I don't think so. There's obviously a lot more stuff happening left, right, and center. And if you follow us on Twitter, you'll automatically see a lot of that swing by in your feed, because we're about the retweets and we're about the likes. But for the main headliners, I think that was the news. So I was wondering, Fez, what is it that you're going to fork next?
CPS. I'm going to fork it. Yes, no, look, I think David will start bringing in some of the fortnightly CPS, or monthly, I should say, CPS, maybe do a show once a month where we chat through proposals in an unbiased way. I know CPS boils my blood when I see it at times. I have very strong views around it, but I'm learning to... What is it? When you see something and it upsets you, if you feel like respond, type a message, but walk away and then come back at it the next day. And you come back a bit level-headed. That doesn't work for me. I come back even more angry.
In absence of thought, anger grows.
Yes.
You know what you need? You need a week in a monastery. I need to connect you to the Ohm monks.
Damn, I really do. Yeah. Help them. You can help me.
You need to calm down.
I do. But one thing we did skip. So Karma Finance. Now, Stephen DS on Twitter, he dropped this amazing thread talking about the value prop of Karma Finance and how their token will work, and where all the token will start pulling its value from. Super interesting. I wish I had it up, but if not, definitely go looking for it. I didn't even realize, I was just excited about Karma Finance in general, but I didn't realize some aspects of it around once the reserve currency launches, what will feed into it, which includes some of these liquidity pools, rewards, etc. So one to definitely review. Maybe we'll get him on the show to give a bit more of a detailed breakdown, or Hyperconnected. We need to have someone from, I keep saying this, no one gets in contact there. What do we have to do to get people to come on the show these days?
Build a website.
Okay. I love it. David, how do you feel about doing one?
Let me have a look at WordPress if my old login still works, and then I'll see what I can do.
Good old WordPress. Okay. Well, there you have it. So David's going to build a website. Stay tuned for that. And there's going to be plenty of more awesome announcements from the Iron Icon's perspective. We're kid and joke and banter, but there was a bit of a hiatus back, aiming to regularly deliver the weekly news, and as long as I can get interviews with people, will have interviews done. So definitely, if you're part of communities and you want to have people on the show, please get them to reach out. We are actively looking to ensure we keep dropping 2 episodes a week. So with that in mind, it's good to be back. David, thank you, as always.
Thank you. Yeah.
Everyone, not financial advice. Please share, follow. Hey, thank you as well, because the YouTube subs have been going up. While I was on leave, we were getting subs. I don't know if that's a good sign, the show, or a bad sign, but thank you, everyone.
It just means the bots are getting better.
Oh, they are. Until
All
next time. Take care.